as abnormality. So, psychological abnormality, how we can conclude means those behavior patterns which is not accepted in the society, that we can say as an abnormal. Okay, psychological disorder. Okay, the famous psychologist called Jung, he also said that he feel as a whole real when he was aware of his self-mental consciousness, what he is doing, whether he is happy or he is sad, everything he's aware of himself completely. It's not in a good manner. Everyone has negative impact, like sometimes in a day we feel little upset. Okay, that also we have to accept it, while we should be aware why we are in that state. That self-awareness is essential. Okay, so during this study, many psychological studies have been done for more than 4,500 years. Okay, so some persons will acquire maladaptation. So there is such a thing that in society there is a particular pattern we have to follow. Okay, in school means there is some ethics, isn't it? Likewise, in society, in any functions, there will be a pattern we have to follow. Okay, some people react adversely. Okay, Karnika?
Yes.
Yeah, good. So when the behavior cannot be modified according to the needs of the situation, that we can say as an abnormal. Okay, some people acquire a different behavioral pattern, that we can say as a maladaptation. So that should be noticed, and we have to find out the cause, and we have to find out what are the consequences will happen as a result of this change in the maladaptive behavior, and we have to check out the treatment pattern for all the psychological disorders. Okay, coming to the concept of abnormality and psychological disorders, actually many psychologists define the abnormality in this abnormality of mental. All those definitions, four things is common. One is deviance, distress, dysfunction, and danger. Okay, that is 4 days. These 4 items: deviance, distress, dysfunction, danger. These 4 is a common features most of the psychologists define about the psychological disorder. Okay, so let's come for deviance. Deviance, in a sense, the person who deviate from the normal behavior pattern that is socially acceptable. Okay, for in a sense, can you say any example for deviance, ma?
Like when they are like hyperactive, like they jump around or something. That is like not.
Yeah. For example, we are visiting a temple means, for example. Okay. That is there we have to worship there. We have to be in a calm, peaceful manner, isn't it? No. That time, but that time they won't be like that. As you said, they'll be running, maybe aggressive, they'll be worried, shouting like that. They were not aware of how to react in particular places. That is deviance. Yeah. Distress. Yeah. They'll be extreme. They will behave. They will be extremely. They will be unusual. Okay. They'll be like a unique. How to define means they'll be not acceptable. They'll be different. Why they are reacting like that? Like that, we feel we'll get. Okay. Distress means some people's behavior will be unpleasant for those nearby with them. Okay, make us upset. The same person itself may become upset, as well as he will let others to be in the upset. Okay, so they won't have a good companion, we can say. They can't able to mingle with their friends in a jovial manner. They feel very sick, as well as they let others also to think about why this unpleasant, why he is doing like this, like that. Next, dysfunctional. Dysfunctional, in a sense, they can't able to do the normal activities in their lifestyle, normal day-to-day activities, as they are worried about, as they are not in a normal thinking pattern is different. So they feel difficult. They won't realize what to do. What is the right time to do what thing. They will be not aware of the things. They miss out the day-to-day activities. For example, if this is a time to play now, they will miss out. They were something thinking of something, anything like that. Is the time for dinner also, they will miss out like that. They feel difficulty in daily activities to do so. Oh, so then dangerous. The other type was dangerous. This is a very crucial among all the psychological disorders. Dangerous is that they may hurt themselves, even the other one also. Okay, so that way it is considered as dangerous. Okay, the concept of abnormality and psychological disorders. Many psychologists define the abnormality in psychology. Among all those, the four concept is common. One is deviance, distress, dysfunction, and danger. Okay. Deviant in a sense, they differ from their normal day-to-day activities. They seem like how to say, they seem like
different.
Yeah. Exactly, ma'am. Next one, next distress. They feel unpleasant. They upset others also. Yeah, for distress. For example, if some people get low marks, means they feel very dull and upset now. Yeah, likewise.
Yes.
Yeah, likewise. It's just an example, but the distress, in a sense, they will react extremely to a small things. That is the main issue we have to note down in psychological, abnormal psychology. While studying abnormal psychology, we have to think only that they will react extremely to certain situations. Each and everyone come across sad, happiness, joy, frustration, everything. The persons with abnormality will react too much. That's it. And there are no, some people won't aware of what they are doing. Okay. So dysfunctional is a sense, it's also a crucial one. It can't, those persons can't able to do their daily activities, daily general activities. It may hinder their work nature, their job role, their family, social relationships also. Dangerous is a highly extreme stage of psychological disorders. They, in a sense, hurt themselves as well as others, nearby peoples, as a result of their mental issues. So, as the definition, it says that abnormal psychology is literally it's away from normal. So there are various approaches. Many psychologists are described about the normal psychology as well as abnormal psychology, abnormal behavioral patterns. Okay, from these approaches, three emerge: two bases and conflicting views. So many when as the era comes, many psychologists invent a new thing about the while reading the mind of the human body. Uh, uh, there may be conflicts. One psychologist may say a pattern differently, whereas someone says a pattern differently. So that's why it's showing that approaches different psychologists shows their view in abnormal psychology in their own thought process. The first approach we use abnormal behavior as a deviation from social norms. Okay, the first approach is deviation from social norms. So we consider as a psychological disorder when the person is not following the social pattern. For in a sense, we are going the each a particular, especially the environment, the situation. There is some unwritten rule. We should behave in such a manner in particular situation. Okay, in a society, we have to follow a particular pattern when we are in that environment. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But such persons affected with physical psychological disorders can't cope with that situation or an environment. So gradually they adopt maladaptive behavior. Each society has norms which are stated or unstated rules for proper conduct. Behaviors and thoughts, emotions that break social norms. Especially societies having some cultures. A particular culture will follow a particular pattern. We have to behave like that, Nama. Yeah. Even in some institutions, in colleges, we follow some rules now. The timing, the dress pattern, everything, the study pattern, the rules should follow how the students should follow, like that. And habits, skills, technology, and arts. Everything the society has a pattern. Okay, some the persons with psychological disorders can't cope with these items. The society have a cultural values, competition, assertiveness may accept. Okay, okay. Those persons can't value the family as well as social peer groups. They can't able to have a good relationship with the society, family. Okay, those so that socially accepted behavior is if the person was lacking in socially accepted behavior, so he comes under the psychological issues. The second approach views abnormal behavior as a maladaptive. So maladaptive is many psychologists believe that breast can determine normality of behavior, well-being of individual, eventually of the group which he belongs. Mainly, many psychologists consider the behavior pattern of the person usually should be beneficial for his surroundings. Okay, the family he lived as a member, as a student in a school, or a colleague in office, or a group of a leader for a team. It should be considered. It should be accepted. We have some rules now. A leader must have a certain qualities, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he must have a good communication, proper communication. He should listen to the what others say. He should find out the issues, what's going on. He should work for the unity, like that, everything. Yeah, it's just an example. But some persons will be maladaptive, like dictatorship, like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well-being is mainly according to this second approach. We consider this abnormal behavior as a maladaptive when the behavior of the person is not beneficial for himself as well as the society. The behavior pattern of a person should be in such a manner that should be a good growth, a healthy living being, a healthy well-being, a good growth, a good well-being of himself as well as his family. if the person doesn't meet its needs, it comes under maladaptive. And such a behavior which he acquires from the environment, interfere with optimal functioning and growth. Okay, so this behavior pattern which differs from which is maladapted and hindering the normal activity, essential activity which the person have to follow, we can say it's a maladaptive behavior. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
For example, if the child is keep on silent in the class, okay, when a teacher was teaching the class, we have some doubt, okay. Still, the kid is simply silent, okay, but he knows, he feels he have some doubts to ask, but he won't ask, okay. The describing such behavior is a maladaptive implies, okay. Actually, he have a doubt, he doesn't understand the concept, okay, but he won't raise question, he won't ask help to find the clarity for his doubts. So that inability to cope or exceptional stress in the environment has led to problems in life. They can't able to cope. A particular, as I said now, a particular have to behave in a particular pattern in a situation. That's but some persons, in example, this student in a classroom, he has a maladaptive pattern that being simply silent, even he doesn't able to understand. If he doesn't able to understand means he can ask, raise a question, but he won't. He had a pattern of being silent. So we can say it's an example of maladaptive behavior. If you talk to people around, you will see that they will guide us about the psychological disorders. So we can come across many people in our life in Tarnika. Some may be superstitious, some may believe in God too much, then they worship a lot, they give first preference worshipping, they spend a lot for for auspicious things, they interested in holy things like that, okay. Superstitious, they believe that there is a extra now power above us, some extra energy drivers, they believe, that is superstitious. Ignorance, some people not realize the real fact, okay. And fear, these three things is also may be considered as one of the psychological disorder pattern when it exceeds the normal limit, okay. So superstitious, ignorance, and fear, these three things also we can consider as a main cause of maladaptive wrong the adaptive behavior which differ from the normal behavior pattern. So this stigma is attached to the mental illness means actually there is a stigma, Tarnika. Maybe some people feel they will refuse to go to visit a psychologist when they have any issues. If they were sad, if they have any depressed state means some people neglect to visit a psychologist or a psychiatrist because how the society will see him when he goes to the psychologist, or they feel that many people have to accept the fact that it's a one type of illness. The psychology dealing with psychological issues, it's one type of illness that have to be socially acceptable to have treatment also. Yeah. Yes, Tarnika? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So actually, when we talk with our friends or family members or anyone, nearby peoples, we can rule out at least any one person was undergoing a pressure, a stress factor. that disturbs their normal routine activities. Okay, being a student of psychology, we can just ask them what's happening, why you would feel like this. So we can rule out the cause so that we can help them to get a proper treatment for their issues. Yeah, Tarnika? Yeah.
Yes,
Historical
ma'am.
background. Historical actually, this psychological disorder treatment actually, um, we study the history of abnormal psychology. We find certain theories have occurred over again once. Ancient theories still encountered today holds abnormal behavior can be explained by, yeah, supernatural, magical forces, evil spirits. Actually, that's we spoke about the supernatural, magical. Do you know some people's like what we say? People's will uh, behave like that witches. Can you know? Can you see in some entertainment films, Lama? They will
Ma'am,
behave. Yeah,
ma'am, could you repeat the question? Like I didn't get you.
yeah, yeah. So actually, before in olden days, uh, they are not aware of the psychological issues. Those have with the superstitious, so magical force. They thought that it's a magical force, magic. They will ghost like that and negative. Okay, they are not
Yeah, yeah.
aware of the mental issues. They are not aware of the mental issues undergoing by the person, but they think as a, oh, that person is a very superstitious, very powerful person like that. Some may be example evil spirits. Actually, the performer by seeing the person in a negative psychological disorders, they thought the common people think as that they have an evil spirit like that. That what, and those are removing that evil spirits, exorcism. Exorcism in olden days it is said as exorcism. They remove the evil that resides in the individual through counter magic and prayer. That is exorcism. Usually in ancient days they followed this, but action and it's an ancient times. What we are discussing is in ancient times, not now. In many societies, shaman and medicine man, oja, these persons are believed to have have a communication with a god, supernatural forces, and they are medium to communicate with the spirits. That needs to be done to appease them. A recurring theme in the history of abnormal psychology is the belief that individuals are strangely because their bodies and their brains are not working properly. It is said that I actually discussed that psychology we should consider it's not as a mental, it should be a both the combination of body as well as mind. Okay, so due to the not properly working function of the body as well as the mental activity brain. Okay, they have the misbelief like this. The psychological, it is also considered as a psychological issue. And this is a biological organic approach. Okay, so the recurring theme in the history of abnormal psychology, individuals have strangely because their bodies and their brains are not working properly. This is the main theme about biological approach. So biological approach is otherwise called as organic approach. Biological in a sense body. Okay, so maybe the brain structures, a particular function of the particular parts of the brain, a particular enzymes not reacting properly, the chemicals not secreting properly, might be may result in the unpleasant thoughtful thinking process, a negative thinking process. Okay, so this is said by this is the biological or organic approach. Okay, this was the followed in the ancient times. Okay, in the modern era, there is evidence that body and the brain process have been linked to many types of maladaptive behavior. Actually, they have proven there is an evidence that body and brain process has linked as a result of this maladaptive behavior exists. For certain types of disorder, correcting this defective biological process improves functioning. So if we start the approach of correcting the defective biological process, it helps in good improving the functioning. Okay, so another approach is psychological approach. So what we gone through is biological approach, that is the body and the brain are not working properly as they are linked with each other, as the body and mind were not working properly, and also due to the biological defects may also arise psychological issues. It was said by in biological approach or organic approach. So we get next we are coming to the approach psychological approach. According to this point of view, the psychological problems are caused by the inadequacies in the way an individual think, feel, and perceives the world. According to the psychological approach, the persons was lagging in the capacity to understand what's going around himself, understand a thing. His inability to perceive the things in a correct manner leads to a psychological issues. Okay, ma. All three of these perspectives, supernatural, biological, or organic, and the psychological, have recurred throughout the history of Western civilization. Okay, throughout the Western civilization, these things have been processed. In ancient Western psychology, it was a philosopher physician of ancient Greece such as Hippocrates, Socrates, and particularly Plato developed the organismic approach. Okay. Later, organismic approach was done by Plato. Okay. Arising out of conflicts between emotions and reasons. Actually, I think everyone have come across such situation. Karnika, hello.
Yes,
Karnika?
ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Can you get any example of that conflicts between emotions and reasons? I can say simply that, for example, a kid, was crying continuously for no reasons. Okay. Okay, when your mom suddenly sees means what he thinks, oh, maybe the kid was hurt, maybe have got an injury, or the kid was very hungry, uh, was worried about thing, was getting fear. So this is the thinking process of the mom. But when we rule out, the kid may have wished to get a new thing from the shop. For that, the kid may scream. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an example. So what I'm saying is we can't get the exact reason of that emotion. The emotion of the kid was crying means the reason of crying that have to be ruled out. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then Gallen elaborated on the role of four humors in the person character and temperament. Gallen described there are four humors in personal character and temperament. According to Gallen, the material world was made up of four elements: earth, air, fire, and water, which combine to form our essential body fluids: black bile, yellow bile, and phlegm. What he says means, we says that the Pancha Bhutangal we used to say nama, air, fire,
Yes,
water, yeah. Yeah, our human body, actually, our human body is also made up of such thing. That what he is conveying. Okay. Um, each of these fluids was seen to be responsible for different temperament. So, such example, blood, bile juice, that is and yellow bile and phlegm. Phlegm in the sense, sputum. You know about sputum?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Each of these fluids be responsible for the different temperament. So for our different emotions, uh, uh, these fluids will respond to a different situation. If so, you can find if people, if a kid continuously crying for a long time, what you can observe from this kid, ma? Which shape of fluid you can able to see?
Um, I'm not sure, ma'am.
Okay. We will when the kids if they cry they will cry, they have a tear, isn't it, ma'am?
Oh, like that, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, then what else? If a kid was in an emotion state, was crying, then what will we just what you observe? You just convey. You see, it's a discussion. You already go to school. I know you are you are studying good in psychology. Okay, it's just an interaction and different way of mm, dealing your 12th class psychology. Okay, ma'am. So, what you observe when a kid was crying? Lacrimal glands will be activated. The kid will have a tear. Isn't ma? Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Then while observing his face, what will you know? His face become pinkish now.
Yeah,
Then what else? I said about sputum now. Did you observe? Okay, even okay. We feel that when we cry means we feel like little cold affected, running nose, isn't ma?
yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that what he conveys. So such fluids also related with our emotions. That what he says. As a result of our temperament, these fluids will respond. That what Gallant said, ma. Okay.